Hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm live on YouTube with today's wonderful storyline on this very unique, transformative channel created with intention to inspire and add something greater, better, beautiful in your world. This is Alchemy of Being, the place for life transformation. And you are watching Marshmallows Presents Stars and Christmas Stories with Nirali Shah. And I'm just kind of connecting to just leave me a hi if you can watch me. Okay, I can see a hi. Thank you. And we're about to begin the story. Let me just share the link with everybody so that anyone has missed me, has forgotten that the story is going live today, can find me. So you just got to hold for a minute and just let me know if you can hear me. My sound is coming well. Super. I'm getting an excited in the comment. And then I see another hi, and this already is making my day. We are almost arriving. The 31st, the new year is about to come, and this is a great start for today's story. Thank you guys for your loving support and encouragement and inspiration for me to be able to keep going with something that may inspire the present for those who are going to be watching it now and those who may be watching it in the future. See, some creations that we do may not be for now. Some creations are meant for future. It's just that, we got to know that anything done with a good heart, with a good intention, if not now, it is going to create something for the future. So, with that hope and with that intention in my heart, I am going to start today's story. It's a very beautiful, it's a sweet story that we are going to start today with. And I'm just checking technically, I'm well supported for today's story so that there are no interruptions. And here we go. The name of the story is Sharing a Legacy of Love. And I'll tell you from where I found this story. So here it starts. It's a girl, a lady sharing her experience through this story. So this is how it goes. When my mother died at the age of 84, my four sisters and I were heartbroken. How could we ever get over the loss of this warm and loving lady, a talented artist who enjoyed life in spite of its challenges? For weeks after, my sisters and I would meet for dinner, laughing and crying over old memories. When it came time to sell my home, my mother loved, we spent many days clearing out her belongings. I remembered reading a column years earlier that discussed how many siblings fight bitterly over the possessions left by their deceased parents. I thought how lucky we are that we will never fight over these belongings or things. Somehow we easily and peacefully divided mom's belongings, the furniture, jewelry, household items amongst ourselves and few into charity. Although I expected there might be a tug of war over her paintings, she was an artist, so over her paintings, but that never happened. Pretty good, huh? Considering there were five daughters and four grandchildren in her family. No conflicts, no squabbles or disputes at all. Until we discovered the old nativity set in a box in mom's closet. I remembered mom telling the story of how she acquired this manger. An old friend who did carpentry work gave it to my parents as a Christmas gift when they were first married. Manger is a kind of a thing that is usually used in European countries as in stables, but specifically this manger was used with a beautiful purpose that we are going to see as we read further. This manger was crafted from dark wood. Though beautifully crafted, there was one flaw. One side of the double gate in front of was lopsided. Mom filled it with three figurines to start: Mary, Joseph, and baby Jesus. For many years after, she continued to add other figurines: the wise men, the shepherds, angels, animals. As kids, we loved taking the nativity set and decorations down from the attic and carefully putting them in place during Christmas. When the sisters all married and grandchildren came along, they added new characters to their own to the stable, including a set of three little pigs. After mom's death, when the nativity set emerged, no one was prepared for the battle that was unexpected but would follow. My sister Joanne was the first to claim the manger, insisting it was the only one of mom's possessions that she really wanted. Her wish was granted. But then my niece Mandy found out, and she called from her apartment in California to voice her objection. She was clearly emotional as she repeated a decade old promise made to her by my mother. Nanny promised me that I could have this nativity set when she was gone. She cried. The nativity set belongs to me. Joanne felt strongly that as mom's daughter, she had first dibs. Neither her nor Mandy would budge. Oops. And when the disagreement showed signs of becoming a full blown family feud, we realized something had to be done. And that's where we entered the family arbitrator, my sister Eileen, who was skilled somehow to see through the fog. Temporarily, she set aside the emotions of the dispute and thought practically. The nativity set was just a wooden stable and not an irreplaceable masterpiece of art. The beauty was in the eyes of the beholder. Couldn't a copy be created? Of course. So the following day, Eileen went to Center Millwork. She pointed to the nativity set in her arms and told the mill owner the story, explaining that it was causing a major rift between her sister Joanne and her daughter Mandy. The mill owner, who was named Brett, took the stable from her, held it up with one hand, and laughed. They are fighting over this because definitely it looked an old manger and there were so many new versions available in the market. So he found it really funny. Eileen said yes and explained, is there any way you could measure and cut some wood so that we could have a duplicate built? Brett said, leave it here. I'll see what I can do. Eileen left hoping he could come up with some minor miracle. And that is what would make to satisfy the two women in her life that who were squabbling. A few days later, she received a phone saying that her order was ready. When Eileen arrived at the hardware store to pick up the wood, thinking that it's the wood that she is picking up, she couldn't believe what she saw. Two identical stables sitting side by side. Brett had not only cut and measured the wood, he had built a second manger. I know you wanted them to look the same. So I added a couple of dings and flaws that were in the original one. Hope that's okay. Sure enough, the new stable had the same lopsided front gate. Okay, Eileen said in tears. You have no idea what this will mean to my sister and my daughter, to the entire family. I don't care what this cost. Your work has saved the day. He pointed to the new manger and said, I hope this helps your family and have a merrier Christmas. Eileen left Brett with a large tip and a big hug of thanks. And when she got home and called Joanne and Mandy about her creative solution, they were very happy and extremely relieved that the problem was resolved. One phone call later, Joanne and Mandy had agreed that Joanne would take possessions of the new stable as well as some of the old figurines, including Mary Joseph and the infant. And Mandy would get to keep the original just as Nani had promised. What a beautiful way to come up with a solution. And the story is written by Kathy Melia Levine, if I'm pronouncing her name right. And this story is printed in the Chicken Soup of Soul. So this is one of those interesting uh, stories from my archives, and Chicken Soup of Soul had been a book and used to be the books basically that did stir my soul once upon a time and did have heart-touching stories. So with this story, this one beautiful thing that I could see, and that is this the writer herself, who's written this story. She ended up reading an article a few years back before her mother passed away, where she had read that people fight over parents' possessions, daughters, children fight over parents' possessions, and fortunately, that wasn't happening for them until this manger showed up. And they were happy that, that is not our reality, that is not occurring for us, and we are not choosing to be that family. But when manger showed up, they could have definitely gone, or at least she could have definitely gone back to that article and, uh, pinpointed and made that thing so significant that, see, look, ultimately it is happening with us too. It's not that we were so happy and cherishing that it didn't happen with us. We were so satisfied with all that we have shared amongst us. Instead, they looked at what solution can we have which is happier for everyone. So that's the beauty. Sometimes we make our issues, our problems, or something that is not in our lives, that is existing in somebody else's life, but we feel that will happen to us too, and we make that so significant, and we kind of recreate other people's stories, other people's misery in our world, and where it may not be necessary. So, the story is kind of opening a door and a way to look at your life story, your family story in a totally different light. Well, you don't have to create the way other people are creating their lives. You don't have to be in your family the way other people's families are being. There can be a different possibility if you look at it. And you know when you go for it, this story is also adding that hope in your world, that when you look for it, the solution can come from the most unusual place, miracles can happen, and you do, and there is a way to find a satisfying win-win outcome for everyone, provided we are willing to go there. We are willing to look for a win-win outcome for everyone. Not that, you know how big or how significant this problem is, or it has arrived now and then, the same old story will play again. How we can change the future, how we can change, anything that occurred for somebody else, and showing a light. It's a very small thing, that even the fight over the manger, or uh, you know even the dispute that usually occurs amongst siblings. But it's just and always about looking at what is possible, and are we going to go in that direction where new possibilities open, new doors open, solutions come in, and both are winning. There's nobody having less or more, both are winning. So this was a very touching and Christmassy and miraculous story that I found, and I wanted to share. And I hope that, whenever, you read this story or you hear this story, it might just strike something that you require in your world, and it just helps you to see your life in a different light. And with that, I'm ending today's story. Uh, Tomorrow, I may I may do the Marshmallows, Presents, Stars, and Christmas Stories with Nirali Shah a little earlier, and let's see what we have tomorrow in our bucket. And you're going to be watching Marshmallows, Presents, Stars, Christmas Stories with Nirali Shah. Keep yourself inspired throughout the end of the new year, because tomorrow is 31st and in the upcoming year. And with that, take care. Bye bye. Good night and see you soon.